looked now that Jarrell's gone, but he said there was someplace we had to sign that we had a hearing today. I don't see that in Gateway.
Said sign paperwork on Form 4, not Form 3.
I don't see that.
Go to Form 4 once real quick.
That's for what?
Ordinance
It's just proof that
Well, you can't, because that's your,
That's not till we adopt it. So
that's
I'm
his,
not-
yeah, that's the adoption meeting.
Right.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
Does he have, he would have to. You just had a public hearing for him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, because he hasn't had his adoption meeting either.
And
so.
that's in October, so I
Yeah.
have everything set up for the October meeting.
Yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't know what he's thinking about, because you're not gonna do that till after your October meeting, so.
I didn't know what he was asking to be signed.
It has to be final adoption that you sign.
Yeah. Today's meeting was just, it's just an opportunity for
Public hearing.
taxpayers to
Show up and
make comments on the budget. That's all it is.
from the advertisement. And I'm not seeing anything to sign today, so.
No, there's.
Circuit Court Judge is not here yet. He has in the request for two transfers and additional funding, so I think we'll wait till he gets here. Is he coming? It's on his schedule. Well, yeah. 10:15.
Budget stuff, meeting stuff.
This is an editorial, not anything to do with the budget particularly, but our proper attorney, I know a guy that's in that jail, nonviolent, got a proper attorney. He's been in there for something like 240 days for a nonviolent crime. And I don't know what you do about that, but I'm getting tired of feeding people and housing them down there, nonviolent for long periods of time. And then he's eating up a proper attorney you don't want to. It just, I don't know how you get out of it.
So has he not had a trial?
Well, he's been to court several times.
Wow.
And I think it's got to do with support payments,
Okay.
but.
Well, he's not gonna make them in there.
No. Well, this particular guy ain't gonna make them anyway, but the fact is, we're housing somebody for, he's been in there since.
I thought these guys were under contract, the pauper attorneys, and that's just what they got.
I think that's true, because every month when I do the claims, I see, is it Brad Volz?
He's a public defender, but then
Same
there's
amount.
also additional attorneys assigned to different situations
Yeah.
in which there's conflict of interest. And
So that's,
I'm going to
we just
assume
have a
that-
pauper account then, and that comes out of, and they're running short on it, because they've had more than normal apparently. That is-
Evidently, yes.
Oh, yeah, the public defender's the one's on contract.
Contract.
Okay, that's the one I see the same amount every month for.
Brad
Yeah.
Baber,
Brad Baber is a pauper attorney, right?
and Brad Voles.
Brad Rolls is the public defender.
Oh, who am I thinking of then that gets the money every month?
Brad Rolls,
Is he in Warsaw?
yes.
Yeah.
The pauper attorneys are attorneys that are assigned to different cases
Okay.
that the public defender is not representing. Brad Baber, Terry Smith, there's several of them that come into the picture.
Well, when they pay a pauper attorney, is that a lesser rate than what their rate would be at the office, or if they represented you
That I
personally?
cannot answer. You want to take over the next part, Jim?
What is it?
Information County Finance Advisor.
I just gave you guys information from Jeff Peters. He is a public accountant and a consultant. In speaking with, he represents right now Steuben, Noble, DeKalb, Wells or Wabash, don't quote me on that one. but he does financial planning. But what I liked about it is he also forecasts situations out 3 to 4 years for what's going to happen. The cost is in there. It's just FYI information. I think that is something that needs to look into. The main reason is the issue we had with the insurance this year and using up rainy day. I think he would have suggested a year or two ago to quit paying something monthly out of rainy day. I don't know if that's, I mean, I didn't know really where that should be nipped. Is that something that the council should have looked at and seen that, or something that auditors should have been saying, hey, we're not getting the money in here that you should have to do. The other thing would have been, we haven't increased our cume rates in over 20 years. Cume Bridge, our cume capital. I think somebody on an outside look at things would have known to say, do you know that you haven't increased or reestablished your cume rates in over 20 years? That's something you need to periodically every 5 to 7 years. And I don't know if it's just the changeover of staff of the auditor's office or the council or the commissioners. I don't really know what all to say about that. But I just think if someone had it in their best interest to do a little background and forecast for you guys, it would have had you increasing those cume rates, not 20 years later we're running out of money and we need to do it. It's a necessity now. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I just had some questions when we were all together at a meeting for our open public meetings in the Northeast District with the other auditors, and his name got mentioned. I emailed him, and this is a proposal. You can see what he does. This is not our county, by the way. The sheets he has isn't Whitley County. It's just somebody else's county. But this is what he does for them. He tells, you know, he gives what you guys look at as far as the projections for a couple years ago. But when we do the budgets, we don't look into 2013, you know, or 2014 or 15. By doing this, this is what's going to happen 2 years out. And I just think that forecasting is something that needs to be done.
Well, I never believed much in forecasting, or I'd have sold my General Motors stock before I went out.
So that's you guys' call. I mean, I don't.
They're just educated guessers is all they are.
I don't like to pay people to do stuff for us when we're rolling along. We say okay, but then I look at stuff and I'm like, would it have been different if someone else would have been?
And it's easy for him to say from Greenwood, Indiana, well, yeah, you ought to raise your seat and cadget rates.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have to get elected up here and face the taxpayers.
Jen, you've caught a couple of the things that we're talking about, changing our rate. I mean,
I have.
And you have looked ahead.
Just because I've seen, yeah, and I hope that whoever supersedes me in either 2 years or 6 years or how many years I'm around does the same thing. I mean, it's totally you guys' call. I just put it out there.
I don't see anything wrong with looking at our cume cap, but for one reason. That's never been changed since we started it, but
Yeah.
the cost of doing improvements, it goes like this all the time, and you know, we have to stay on top of that, I think. Because the cost of repairs, just like what we saw this morning, I'm sure they're higher this time than they would have been 5 years ago, and
And I think Cume Bridge has to be looked at too, because
Bridge.
That's a big cost.
both of those cumes.
And I think,
I guess from the commissioner's standpoint, we saw the same information, and right, wrong, or indifferent, my experience is we've gotten along great with UMBAW, and this isn't anything that UMBAW can't do, and UMBAW doesn't do it. I don't think we pay them a contractual basis,
Yeah,
right?
we pay them quite a bit.
Like this guy wanted 10,000 the first year and 15,000 the second. Do we do that with UMBAWs?
If we would ask them to do some study to do
That's
a
not
study-
what this guy says. I don't think. It looked to me like he wanted more of a retainer.
Right, he would look at stuff on a monthly basis, but you're talking about UMBAW. Every time they do something for us, we get a bill.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. I'm just saying, I think there's a certain comfort level there, and
I'm
and the-
comfortable with
question that we were asking about cume cap and that, I think Todd Samuelson could answer those questions too. And I don't know Jeff Peters, might be the nicest guy in the world, but, and Umbaugh's is about as far away as Greenwood, so you can't use that analogy.
But we had, the redevelopment commission had Umbau do a projection on ours, just what you're talking about. And they did it very well, at least it's
And
understandable.
it costs about $5,000 or $6,000.
And I think that, you know, with Umbau, they understand our TIF district, they understand our SDI bonds, they understand, they're gonna come, if we're gonna have them come in and look at this someday, they're gonna hit the ground running. Whereas somebody else, you know,
They don't
why
know
would
that.
we even introduce it, someone just, everything that Whitley County does in our history, which all comes into play. But I'm with Don, that I think that Umbau has always done an excellent job for us. It's, you know, you can always get other quotes and you can always see what else is out there. But as far as having a good financial history with somebody, it's my choice would be Umbau. And right now, I don't think we can afford to do anything. But
I didn't even want, I mean, I brought it to you, he presented it, I spoke with him. I'm fine whether we do it or don't do it. I just wanted to leave it at you guys' mercy.
But I think we do need to take a look at that Cume Bridge and
Right.
Cume Cap. And
And I have it.
tell me again the timeline on when we can do that.
It has to be done by August 1st.
Yeah.
So I vote, we don't do them both at the same time, like maybe advertise for the increase like in May and look and see what we need as far as expenditures based upon the new assessed values we get and see how we get to that amount once we get the new assessed values for 2013 and then look at increasing the rate. Same way with Cume Cap.
What's
Look at
Cume
what-
cap rate now, Jan?
We
On
can't
your
do it before
sheet.
the first year, and we have to do it by August 1st.
Right.
Right, you can't do it anymore this year.
This year.
How much, there's gotta be caps on them, we're probably not near the cap on either one.
Not even close.
But you don't know what,
I don't know sitting right here. If I sit on my desk, it's
well,
right there.
sometime after first year, would you let us know so we can kinda consider
Do you
working on it?
want them compared to other surrounding counties, or what do you
No.
wanna look at?
I'm not interested in raising them substantially, but just something, and then we can raise it again in 5 years, or kinda
Yeah, I don't
keep
think
on top of that a little
20
better than
years
we have.
wasn't good to let it go that long.
How long? 5's too long?
It has been 20 plus years for either one of them to be changed, so. I
We
just
need to
think
change them
we-
both, but I mean, to keep current, we need to change them periodically, not wait till every 20 years.
Do we change them both in the same year?
Yes.
But it would be probably better to alternate in the future
Do
if
one in May,
possible.
yeah, do one this year, do one, yeah, put them on a schedule,
I think, I agree, but the one that probably needs it the most, Cume Cap, and
yes.
Don, that bridge fund go down pretty quick, does it, every year now, or not?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and profess to remember.
But
I
see,
just-
through the years, that just had a multitude of dollars in it, you know, just laid there, and you
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
use them
Alright.
anywhere else, and so apparently that isn't the case anymore.
Must not be, no, because I know there's one on Lincoln Way that he's really close to having enough money to even do the, and in fact, he's not gonna do exactly what needs to be done, he's gonna repair it, so. Here's what happened, if I could just give you an analogy, again, at the township level, but it's pretty much the same thing. Many, many years ago, at the township level, we established the Cume Fire Fund. It was one of the greatest things we did. Smith Township has not financed a fire truck in like 25 years because they had the cash. But we noticed, I mean, we set a tax rate on it. And as time goes on, we noticed we're not getting any more money. AV keeps going up, but we're not getting any more money. So we questioned the DLGF, and they said, nope, we flatlined that. Whatever you got last year, that's what you're gonna get next year. And then finally, they came out and said, well, if you want to get it back up, you're gonna have to reestablish the Cume Fire Fund. And that's what we did. I mean, it made a tremendous difference. So we didn't have any objection at all to do that because, again, if you look back and you've not financed a fire truck in 20, 25 years, you've had pretty good savings. So, so I think we have to probably reestablish these funds as opposed to, say, increase the rates. I think we have to look at reestablishing it. Do you agree or not?
I agree.
I think that's.
I was gonna go back the last 5 years and look what we have expensed out of those two funds. Get with Brandon a little bit and see, I know he did 2 bridges this year instead of just the one he normally does. That's what ate up most of that, was 2 bridges. Does he plan on always doing 2 bridges? Are we
I
had to
can't
do that this
answer,
year
yeah.
because of the condition of one of those I know was terrible?
But that's the problem with the Cume Bridge, is it's flatlined.
Right.
And it
It's
doesn't make
done.
any difference what the AV does, he's only gonna get so much
Until
money.
we reestablish.
So it has to be reestablished.
And what are our bridges, you know, how are they doing? You guys get an annual bridge report,
We do,
so,
we do. I would say we're okay. I don't think we have any major issues, and
but it's that year that you have 3 or 4 that are problems.
sort of like a boiler chiller at the courthouse.
Yeah.
And the locking system at the jail.
Let me, I got a question here. If we reestablish those funds, if we're flatlined, we're only getting the amount of money based on this AV 20 years ago. If we simply reestablish the fund, might not have to raise the rate.
Rate that much, that's true, because then it'll allow us to collect on the AV
Yeah.
that's currently.
You
I
know,
can give you an idea. When we established the Smith Township Cume Fire, it was at 14 cents. We just reestablished it at .0303. So, and we're getting more money.
Yeah.
So that's, your point is right, Bill. As AV goes up, the rate should be down.
We need to take a look at that, but we need to take a look at the human cap fund first.
Is there a deadline to reestablishing?
Yep.
Yes, August 1st.
August 1st.
I know, I
It's
tried to do
No,
the
it's August
same
1st.
thing.
You gotta have it
So
all.
we have to do it next year.
That's
I
gonna be,
complained because I said, well, we don't start working budgets till July, we didn't know we were gonna be short. And we don't adopt until October, so since we're just reestablishing, it's not new, and they were like, no, Jenny,
Can we start doing this like
Yes.
in March or something and get it done?
yes.
I would put it right down on your March agenda to,
yeah.
I think
Start
that
on
I
it.
have it in May or something I wrote on the calendar.
Get it done,
And then it won't exist until 2014.
right, but we gotta,
Okay, go ahead with Judge.
Judge Schuer.